Well, Coach, the Blue Devils finished the regular season 9-1 with a 9-game winning streak. As a first-year head coach, you must feel pretty good about how this season has gone.
I couldn't ask for much more. I walked into a pretty good thing. We were just talking about winning a region last year with Clint. Clint set up a great program, and it goes back to years before. We were very close to being 3-time defending region champs. So, walking into the team that I walked into, I'm fortunate. Not every coach has that situation. It's a great bunch of kids. It's a great team. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great school. So I'm a very, very lucky man to walk into what I did.
Friday night you traveled to Albion and took on the Northwestern Wildcats. It turned out to be a pretty good battle. Do you think it was a good tune-up for the start of the playoffs this week?
I guess that depends on what a good tune-up means. They're a pretty good team, a double-A team playing in our last game. It's not anywhere near what I was hoping for Friday night. We definitely didn't perform our best. We had many turnovers that killed us multiple times. That game could have easily been out of hand in the first half. We could have easily had been able to rest our starters a little more like I was hoping to. But in the end, it was good because the kids once again faced some adversity. They faced a team that came out and wanted to beat them and played hard, and that's what we're going to see from here on out. So in terms of challenging the kids a little bit, it was good. In terms of execution and how we played was not necessarily very good. So, but hopefully we got all that nonsense out of us last week, and we'll be ready to go better this week.
This week we will play the Wilmington Greyhounds in Meadville, a neutral site. We saw the Greyhounds a year ago in the first round, and we didn't fare too well. How will this year's game be different?
It's hard to tell. We got to play it first. The kids are older. They're a year older. They're a little more experienced. They're a lot better than they were last year. Mentally tougher than they were last year. Wilmington, I don't think they're necessarily the same team they were last year, but they're still a good team. Playing in the South, they face good competition week in, week out, which is something that we can't necessarily, say we faced as good a competition. So they're definitely going to be ready to go. You look at last year in that game, we lost 35-0. But, we only gave up about 250 yards of total offense, which isn't too awful bad, considering they scored 35 points. We made some dumb penalties at dumb times. We had 3 or 4 turnovers. So if we can, hold those things down this year, not have the dumb penalties, not do the turnovers, I think we'll compete much better than we did last year.
Do you think there was last year a sense that they were going to play better, and when they didn't, that affected them, and this year they know what they're up against?
Well, maybe. It's one of those things. Last year, I guess maybe we were a little, I don't want to say overconfident, but we went in at 8-2. We'd won our region, undefeated in our region. They were the number 4 seed, I guess, coming out of their region. But if you remember, also that last year was the year all 5 teams tied for their region title. So they were all about the same level last year. This year, we're going to make sure as a coaching staff to remind them exactly what we're going to face. That it doesn't matter what our record is, it doesn't matter what their record is. They're a good quality team, and I guarantee you they're going to come out ready to go Friday.
This is the 3rd year in a row that the Blue Devils have made the playoffs, so they're experienced at being there. Only the freshmen would not have been in the playoffs before. How will that impact the game Friday night?
You look at it, the upperclassmen have all had a lot of experience then. They know what to expect. The playoffs don't allow for your usual routine. The times that we go out are different. The times we leave are different. All that stuff is different. Where we play is going to be different. We haven't played at Meadville. So, but their experience is there. They know what to expect. I don't think in the past 2 years we've necessarily played up to our potential. Haven't played our best games when we got to the playoffs. So hopefully this year, understanding what we need to do, understanding what's going to take to actually compete and win a game, I think the kids have a better idea what that's going to take, and I think we'll be ready to go.
Last week you played without Brad Stoger, who was hurt in the Iroquois game, and you lost Patrick Johnson early in the game. The defense still held the Wildcats scoreless for your 6th shutout of the year. This is a team that has depth and players ready to fill a role.
Yeah, they did a nice job last week. I'd still happy to have Brad back and wish Patrick was able to go. They're both big parts of our team throughout the year. Brad will be back this week, I think. Patrick, unfortunately, I don't think will be. But we have kids that are ready to go, ready to step in. We were fortunate early in the year that we were able to take a couple of our offensive linemen, play them just on offense, defensive linemen play them just on defense, and have that time to rest. But it's coming down to the end of the year, and we're going to have the best guys on the field all the time. So it's fortunate for us that we do have that situation where we have kids that are ready to go and ready to compete. You look at last week, we had Zach Boylan stepped in at linebacker for us for a while and played very well. So having that depth, having those kids ready is going to be a big part of this week too.
I would think that the JV getting so much playing time has been helpful there as well.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they're competing most of the time in those games with a lot of the varsity starters anyway, so they're able to step up and know what's expected of them.
Should we expect to see anything different from the Blue Devils Friday night?
I don't think so. We're pretty good at what we do, and we're going to keep things pretty steady. Other than not turning the ball over, I guess that would be a nice change in terms of different. But beyond that, I think we're pretty set on what we do, and we're fundamentals. That's what we're all about. So we're not going to try and change things too much with the success we've had this year.
We've continued to get great fan support at the games all year long. Even if the weather is bad Friday night, it would be great to see a big crowd in Meadville. How do you think the fans impact the play on the field?
I know the kids love having them there. It's always nice to hear the crowd. And I'm sure Friday night, knowing our fan base that we've had this year, it doesn't matter what the weather's like. I'm pretty sure we'll have a pretty strong showing. So we're looking forward to it, looking forward to performing again.
Well, Coach, what would you like to say to the Blue Devil fans as you prepare for your first playoff game as head coach?
The season's been great, 9-1. It's been a wonderful season. Winning a Region 2 championship again was great. But this is where it all starts again. This is a second season for us. We've got a great opportunity. We have a great group of kids. A chance to really do something special. So if you get a chance to, come on out Friday night, and we're going to do our best to move on in the playoffs.